They thought they broke you. They thought walking away from you, mocking you, betraying you in secret and in silence would leave you buried. But God is never blind to pain. He hears the whispers in the dark, and when his servant is wounded, he responds. Not with loud thunder, not always with immediate fire, but with quiet justice that builds silently and strikes precisely. Denzel Washington once said, "Some people will never like you because your spirit irritates their demons. So understand this, when someone hurts you deeply and you remain upright, God begins to move. He moves in ways you may not notice immediately, but he does. And one of the first signs? God removes his protection from them. You see, when they were near you, even in hate, they were still close to your light. Your goodness shielded them without their knowledge. Your prayers, your loyalty, your kindness. It was a form of divine favor they didn't recognize. But once they turned their back on you, they turned their back on what was shielding them. Like a boat refusing the lighthouse and crashing into rocks. It wasn't the rocks that were cruel. It was the boat's arrogance that ignored the guidance. The Qur'an says in Surah Al-Hajj 22:10, "This is for what your hands have put forth, and because Allah is not ever unjust to the servants." Ask yourself, how many people have fallen after doing wrong, not because someone cursed them, but because they walked out of divine grace? Have you ever seen someone prosper after lying about you? They got that promotion. They gained that attention. They smiled while your heart was bleeding. But then months later, everything they built began to rot from the inside. That's not coincidence. When someone hurts a heart that was pure to them, God doesn't sleep. Sometimes he blesses them first, gives them rope, because even the devil once had time. But he's never unaware. Denzel once told a young man, "Just because you're doing a lot doesn't mean you're getting a lot done. Don't confuse movement with progress." God sometimes lets those who hurt you look like they're winning, not for your punishment, but for their test. They'll feel safe in their schemes, confident in their betrayal, until the wind shifts, until what they tried to build on your pain becomes the grave of their own peace. The Qur'an reminds us in Surah Al-Anfal 8:30, "But they plan, and Allah plans, and Allah is the best of planners." This isn't revenge. This is balance. Ask yourself, what if the hurt they caused you was the very rope that will trip them tomorrow? There's a certain look in the eyes of someone who knows they're losing peace. They can be smiling, but their soul is tired. They try to distract themselves with noise, with people, with endless scrolling. But something's missing. That something is divine rest. It is stolen when you harm someone who prayed for you. The guilt doesn't always scream. It drips. It drips like water onto rock, until one day it breaks them, even if they never apologize to you. Denzel Washington said, "When you pray for rain, you got to deal with the mud too." People who choose to hurt others often pray for blessings without realizing the consequences. You can't plant pain and expect peace to grow. The Qur'an says in Surah Al-Tariq 86:4, "There is no soul but that it has over it a protector." So the question is, when they hurt you, did they forget you were protected? Because hurting you wasn't just cruelty, it was rebellion against the one who was watching. Time. It reveals everything. When you've been wronged, your job is not to get even. It is to remain clean, to not drink from the same poison they did, because time will show who was sincere. God sometimes delays the downfall of those who wrong us, not to torture us, but to teach us patience, to elevate our rank, to give them a chance to repent. Denzel once said, "Don't be afraid to fail big, dream big, but remember, humility will keep you in places that pride will never take you. And when someone's pride leads them to wound others, God lets their fall be long enough that the lesson can't be ignored." The Quran says in Surah Ghafir 40:44, And you will remember what I now say to you, and I entrust my affair to Allah. Indeed, Allah is seeing of His servants. So do this. Stop trying to expose them. Stop trying to explain yourself. Just remain upright. The truth needs no microphone when God decides to reveal it. You might notice it one day. They isolate themselves. The crowd that cheered them grows quiet. They move from place to place, trying to escape something, but it follows. That's not a person. It's consequence. It's the echo of actions thrown into the world with no care. They tossed stones into your soul, thinking it wouldn't ripple. But now they can't find still water anywhere. Denzel Washington said, "Success is nothing if you don't have the right people to share it with." So God removes the right people from them. Friends vanish, trust erodes, and they stand in a crowd but feel alone. The Qur'an states in Surah Al-Imran 3:120, "If good touches you, it distresses them. But if harm strikes you, they rejoice at it. But if you are patient and fear Allah, their plot will not harm you at all." So here's the challenge. Will you be patient long enough to let God write your vindication? Or will you try to steal the pen and rush the ending? Sometimes God delays your healing to humble the one who hurt you, because it's not about your pain only. It's about their awakening. He allows you to rise slowly, not because He loves you less, but because every step you take back to joy echoes louder than any punishment they could face. God doesn't just want to deal with them. He wants to elevate you. Denzel once said, "Ease is a greater threat to progress than hardship." Your hardship made you see things clearly. Your pain taught you boundaries. And while they were sleeping, you were evolving. The Qur'an says in Surah Al-Shah 94:5-6, "For indeed, with hardship will be ease. Indeed, with hardship will be ease." So ask yourself, what if God allowed them to hurt you so you could become the person you were destined to be? You're not forgotten. You're not invisible. And you're not a victim. You're a witness of how God fights quietly. You don't need a stage. You don't need applause. You just need to keep walking. Because behind you is a story of betrayal. But ahead of you, a path cleared by the hand of justice. They may never say sorry. They may never see your worth. But God did. And when God is for you, who can be against you? The Qur'an says in Surah At-Tawbah 9:51, "Never will we be struck except by what Allah has decreed for us. He is our protector. And upon Allah let the believers rely." So here is your reminder. Healing doesn't always come by watching them fall. It comes by realizing you were never alone, even in the moment they left. God saw, God knew, and God is already doing what you couldn't.